Okay, as you see, we have done towel, cape towel, because we're doing a virgin lightener application, and we'll use our protective cream around the hairline. Okay, and that was now the application of the protective cream. Now we're going to go in and we're doing 1/8 inch subsections and coming out a 1/2 inch. And if you're unsure as to how much 1/2 inch, you can measure it on your comb, and bringing it out 1 inch from the ends. You lay it over, drop down the next section, and I've got my...
Shouldn't you be using your comb?
I'm using the tip of this applicator bottle.
I've seen that. But
And then spreading it, because this is your virgin lightener. I'm going to use my brush on the relaxer application. And take my thumb and spread it to 1 inch from the ends and lay it over. They want to see enough product on there that they know that you know what you're doing. Okay? Spreading it to 1 inch. You got to get enough product on it too, so that when the examiner comes over to look at it, that she knows that you've put enough product on there that you know what you're doing. And if you got the section thin enough, it will penetrate. That's the reason we're making 1/8 inch subsections. Any questions about where we apply? Making 1/8 inch subsections, coming out a 1/2 inch from the scalp and going out to 1 inch from the ends. One half out and to 1 inch from the ends. You go back and apply it. But at State Board, they just want to see your initial application.
This is your State Board application.
Mm-hmm.
what would be the difference in doing that first and then going back and doing it? Jennifer, we talked about it for 8 minutes.
We really did. The heat from your scalp is going to bring that up faster than what she's putting on there. That needs a longer processing time than the heat from your scalp or the porous ends.
Okay. The heat from, like she just said, the heat from the scalp plus your porous ends on the ends of the hair is going to make it grab, so it won't be an even color. So State Board wants to see that you know how to initially apply the color. Virgin application simply means it's someone who has never had color. Or either they've had color maybe years ago, but it's all been cut out. So they don't have none left on the hair. Okay, so how far out did I say come?
An inch from the end.
It's an inch from the ends, but what is it from the scalp?
1/8. No, it's like 1/2 inch, ain't it?
A 1/2 inch.
You doing 1/8 section parts, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
1/8 inch subsections, a 1/2 inch from the scalp to 1 inch from the ends. Okay? Now you'll get to do it in just a minute to your mannequin. Okay, I'm not going to complete this whole section, but if you was at the board, you would do this whole section here and then just lay it back over like so. So that when they come to judge it, they can see that you have applied it where they said to apply it. Okay? Yes. All right, now we're on the hair coloring process. It may say hair tinting or color retouch on your paper. But this, I want you to use both forms, the current state board and the one that we had some years ago because they showed the picture, and I think the picture is good as well. We've done a plus part to initially do this application, and it's a mock demonstration of a tint retouch. Now, it says to outline the partings, which I'm going to show you how we done that. Go to your procedure on tint retouch, and it says to make the subsections on your tint retouch. What does your paper say on a tint retouch? Okay. All right. It says you're going to make a 1/4 inch subsections, and you're going to outline your partings and come. This is a 1 inch tint retouch. Okay. So I'm using my bottle again, and you need to write on your bottle at State Board if this is a mock cream or lotion that you're using for your color application. Half inch. Okay, the new State Board paper says to to make 1/2 inch subsections. How much was the virgin lightener? Not to confuse you, but to know that there is a difference. 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, the subsections was 1/8, and then you come from 1/2 inch from the scalp, then 1 inch from the ends.
Okay. And now I am outlining. This is for my tint retouch. I'm outlining my partings. I'm coming out, making my subsection. It says 1/2 of an inch, and we're going to come out 1 inch. So we're just coming out, starting at this scalp and coming out. Now this you can get. It goes to the scalp because this is the new growth.
Down just an inch, right?
You're just coming out.
It says
This is a tint application.
This says up to 2 inches, depending on how far the hair is grown out.
Okay. On one paper it may say 1 inch. On your newest State Board paper it may say 2 inches. But just remember that when you're at the board or here taking an exam, make sure you follow the examiner's, whatever she says, her instructions.
She'll tell you what to do.
She will tell you if you need to come out 1 inch, 2 inches, or whatever. And you need to pay attention to what she says. If you make your subsections thin enough, I have noticed that you don't have to do it but on one side. And I usually work it with my thumb up, as I'm doing here. I apply it. And come up 1 inch. Now at the board you also have to label your bottles or whatever you're using to make sure that they know that you know what you're doing. That this is a mock lotion for color. So you'll say mock or inert hair color or hair tint. So you're just putting it on your new growth. And this happens to be 1 inch out from the scalp. And you can get this on the scalp. Virgin lightener, no, you can't get it on the scalp. So that's one difference there also. And I'm using a bottle. I chose to use a bottle for this application because I want to show a difference. Since I'm using a mock cream, I want them to know that I'm using a different type tool with this as opposed to the bowl when I'm getting ready on the next exercise. By the way, this is your your quads, as we call it here, and they call it that as well. So this is a state board practice. You first do your virgin hair lightener, and next you do your tint retouch. And I'm just going to go about halfway down. If you was at the board, you'd have to do this whole section so that we can move on and do the other demonstration. Now we're into our virgin lightener. And we're going to apply it.
Virgin relaxer.
Sorry, virgin relaxer. Okay, and we're coming out 1/2 of an inch from the scalp and going to what? 1 inch from the ends. And this just rub it in that area. And then we're coming out again 1 inch from the scalp, 1/2 inch, sorry, to 1 inch from the ends. Subsections are 1/4 inch or less. Start 1/2 inch from the scalp and going all the way up to 1 inch from the ends. One-half inch from the scalp and working it up to 1 inch from the ends. Understand this application? Now, what are the subsections? How wide?
You want an 1/8 inch. You want
1/8 of an inch.
I would say 4. You said,
She said it says 1/4 or less. But
Uh-huh.
she prefers 8.
okay, 1/8.
Should we do both sides like that, the way you're doing it?
If I seen that I took as much as 1/4, then I did both. I want to make sure I had enough product on it. That's why I said I wouldn't have done that if I had just made my section a little smaller, and then I could have done it just on one side, and it would have penetrated. So.
She wants you to do 1/8 of an inch, but when you're doing it and you're standing in front of the examiner, you're going to say 1/4 of an inch or less. You're not going to say 1/8 of an inch, because then they're going to think you're talking about a virgin lightener. You got to know the difference.
I don't think that you will have to tell them, but if they asked you, then you will know.
1/4 of an inch or less.
So you can say it like that.
Yeah, no, you don't have to say 1/4 of an inch. You can say 1/4 of an inch or less.
This is my husband's department. I can ask him. He can break all that. I'm like, okay, what's 1/4?
Okay, 1/4 of an inch or less subsection, and you're coming out 1/2 inch from the scalp and going, saturating the hair up to, but not including that 1 inch from the ends. Okay, we are beginning to do the chemical relaxer retouch. As this paper is showing you, it's in section 4, and it's a 2-inch no base relaxer retouch. So I have already started going around and outlining the partings. Your subsections are going to be 1/8 of an inch. And I start at the top section. And we're going to come out, since it said 2 inches, 2 inches from, now the 1/8 of the inch is where we came off of the scalp. So you don't want to take it down to the scalp. And you're going out 2 inches and stopping. Remembering that this is a relaxer, a person that's had a relaxer, but now they've got an outgrowth of 2 inches. So possibly maybe close to 6 to 8 weeks that it's grown out. And now they're coming back in to get a retouch done. So I'm starting at the top, going down. After I have outlined it, beginning 1/8 inch and coming out 2 inches. this is what you'll do at the board, and you will do it just to this one section. This is a part of the quads demonstration, showing that you can do a relaxer retouch. Is there any questions about this? Okay, recapping, we're going to outline this partings 1/8 of an inch out, and it's a 2-inch relaxer retouch. And I'm continuing to do this to complete this one section. And after you have finished this, you will step back if you get done before the time that's been allotted, and you wait until they tell you that they say to stop. And if you've already stopped, then you just step back. They will come around and judge it after the time allotted to see how you've done on each one of those sections. At the board, I think they've just divided it up, that the color is done at one segment and the relaxer is done at another time. But this process, the quads will be usually done at the same allotted time. And definitely wear your gloves as I'm doing on this demonstration. It shows protection. You've also used protective cream, which I did earlier, over around the face, the hairline, and over the ear. Okay, if there's no questions, then this will complete this part of this demonstration.